Vivian, Vivian, Vivian. What do I think when I hear Vivian? The first thing that comes to mind is her incredibly diverse playstyle. It's astounding that Paladins could even have such a character like her. Her high skill ceiling is astounding. Evie struggles to even match her. Her artisan, well thought out cards exemplifies her playstyle greatly, and her unique and vibrant design makes me wonder, how did Paladins even come up with her? She is clearly the mascot of Paladins. Now, if you couldn't tell, all of those were completely false, and I'm being incredibly ironic. Vivian is one of the worst characters Paladins has ever pooped out, and it's kind of surprising they haven't deleted her yet. In this video, I'll be talking about Vivian's horrible gameplay and horrible visual design, etc., etc. But I'm not going to leave you on a low note. I'll also be talking about how high-res can improve Vivian. So this isn't really a complaint, it's more of a constructive criticism. Let's begin.
Whoa! Vivian. With no skill.
Vivian gameplay is very nice. It involves holding down two buttons. That's all. It's a point and click adventure. Vivian's point and click adventure. Here is footage of Vivian gameplay. You will not be disappointed.
That's 11 in a row. Double kill.
Hit the road, Sam.
Triple kill. Godlike. Quadra kill.
Oh my god!
15 in a
Wow!
row.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Wow!
Now, if you found that fun, inspirational, or creative, you are probably a mobile gamer. That's what you are. The greatest insult. Anyhow, if you can't tell, there's a big problem with Vivian's playstyle. What I just showed you obviously was an exaggeration. None of them were moving. I didn't throw up a shield or throw the occasional mine. But the truth is, Vivian's bread and butter is just spamming shots until they die. And if it doesn't work, just put more cards that spam shots, and then get the talent that allows you to spam shots harder. That's Vivian for you. With this in mind, it's hard to not realize that high-res is kinda, encouraging this kind of spamminess, which isn't good. Adding a talent and multiple cards that encourage spamming is going to be a big problem for the game. Not only do I not want to see Vivian, but when top plays were a thing, I did not want to see the Vivian top play because everyone knew that it was just her shooting things. And maybe she had her ult out that helped her shoot more things. Overall, Vivian is a pretty meh character, and I'm not here to talk about whether she's viable. She's pretty easy to shoot the feet. As a Kinessa main, her feet are pretty easy to shoot, but yeah, she's boring, and I don't think Paladins should have some character like this when they have such a diverse cast. Bruh. 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 Paladins' visual design is, well, not very complicated. If the champion looks good, it looks good. And usually looking good entails like a level of detail, a level of uniqueness. Something that Vivian does not have. If you take a look at Maldamba, Atlas,
Brother, this guy stinks!
or like even Maeve, they're a lot more interesting than this god-awful character. Not only is her gameplay bland, she herself is incredibly bland also, which is fitting, ironically. So yeah, That's another problem I have. An in-depth idea on why Vivian is so boring is that she has no embellishment, no charm, no identifying mark that screams, "I'm Vivian. Look at this, and you will see." Most champions have this. They're either wearing it or carrying it, like Ying's mirror, Maldamba's snake, Terminus's giant axe, or Androxus's face mask. Things like this say, and clearly state, that they are unique. Vivian has none of these. You might be able to argue that maybe Vivian has some visual appeal due to her assets, but I can disagree. The problem with Paladins is that they do a lot of fan service. And that means every single girl, barring like Willow or Maeve, have huge donkers. And yeah, that removes the need for Vivian. She's boring, and they're not. And they also have big donkers.
Posted the cringe. You're going to lose. Subscribe.
But yeah, another problem with her is that her weapon is somehow more boring than her. If you look at it, how do I explain it? It looks standard, like she was just handed it, like out of the trash pile, and it's awful. Why is someone who cheats her way up and is now she's in charge of the deep works, and she carries this horrible looking gun? Why? Okay, maybe lore wise it's a prototype. Why hasn't she embellished it? Why hasn't she done something to it? You'd think someone as proud as Vivian, as cunning as Vivian, would maybe hold something a bit more, I don't know, nice. Yeah, all in all, she's visually drab, forgettable. Like, you will never think Vivian when you think Paladins, and that's kind of a problem.
Solid keep playing Fortnite. Be responsible. To all you like haters, I'm gonna kill you all.
Now that I'm done roasting Vivian into oblivion, that rhymes, I'm going to talk about suggestions. So, Evil Mojo, Hi-Rez, I suggest you take some notes on this, because I feel like this would make the game a lot better. We're going to start with her light machine gun, which is her main weapon and her main source of sorrow. In real life, light machine guns are big, and you usually want to mount them somewhere for greater accuracy. This would be an awful addition for Paladins due to the fact that setting up would be a death sentence for anyone mobile enough to catch you. However, a good addition for Vivian would be giving her more accuracy in bursts and heavily penalizing her accuracy if she held it down for a certain period. This would not only incentivize targeted precise shooting, but give the game an overall better atmosphere. Not only that, but it would also give Vivian a different playstyle of maybe peeking, and this would actually be really good for her because, well, lore-wise, she's sneaky, she's conniving, and basically kind of peeking and not just going buck wild shooting across the map. That makes more sense for her. As I stated in my critique of her weapon, her iron sight is no exception. It's also equally drab and boring. For a technologically advanced weapon, this is pretty awful, to be honest. Instead, I would give her iron sights like maybe Ashe from Overwatch, except add some differences. Like giving her maybe like a notification of where the head shots are and where the body shots are, and outlining any enemy within her iron sights. And maybe even going farther, maybe outlining and putting like exclamation marks over people who have low health. This would be perfect for Vivian, as she is a person who would pick out the weak, and showing weaker targets with an exclamation would actually be pretty cool. On Vivian's deflector shields, I'm actually fine with them. They're unique. They're shaped uniquely, they cover unique area, and shooting the legs is actually a really unique counterplay to like a shielded champion. That's something that Paladins doesn't have, except for with Vivian. And I think that it's really cool that Vivian has this kind of thing, and that the rest of her kit is just awful is really unfortunate. The sensor drones were a bit difficult to come up with, but I think I've come up with something. I would change the sensor drones to like ping instead of continuously showing stuff. So I would have it ping.
We're being pursued by two objects. Looks like one's another U-boat. The other appears to be
Vivian.
Reveal someone for 1 second, ping, then another second. The pings would be visible, so the enemy could actually see where the sensor drone was, see where the bursts of ping came from, and find it and be able to shoot it, because honestly, it's sometimes really hard to find the sensor drone when you're in the middle of a fight, and seeing a big circle of like sonar type of thing coming out of the sensor drone would be a really nice way to counter it with resilience, since it's a 1 second ping. And it would also be really easy to find and break, because sometimes it's a real problem.
Have you met my friends?
Let's be honest, Vivian's ult is trash. It encourages spam and is no fun to play against. So I resolved it. I even kept the ult line, so Paladins wouldn't have to go to Vivian's voice actor and get a new voice line. This new ultimate would allow any sensor drones placed to summon a hologram like Vivian that looks like her but it's not her color. It looked like the holograms from Fallout New Vegas Dead Money, and it will attack anyone in range of it. Now, there will be counterplay to this. While the holograms do have health, they will have lots of health. But the main idea is not to destroy the holograms. It's to destroy the sensors that are providing the holograms life. So, this will not only have a really unique idea for our ult, but a really nice counterplay that's like destroying the source will destroy the ult. So for talents, I've come up with a couple. So my first talent, No Escape. Enemies affected by sensor drones will no longer be revealed, but will be slowed for 30% every ping. This will be able to be countered with resilience, and I think this would be a rather cool thing to happen. Second talent would be Two-Faced. Deflector Shield will now give allies close to her a similar shield with 1000 health that lasts 3 seconds, but will increase her cooldown for Deflector Shield by 4 seconds. Devious would be her third talent. Landing a killing blow on enemies marked with low health by precision shots will grant Vivian an additional 100 credits. This one's a bit iffy. I'm not so sure about this one, but yeah, the first two, I kind of like the first two are my solid choices. Well, that's all I really need to say. Right now, Vivian sucks, and things could be done to make her better. So yeah, deleting her isn't the only choice. I-Res, you could really just improve her, and she'd be amazing. I really hope you listen to this, and take this into consideration, although you probably won't, as this video is likely not to get your attention. But whatever, I had fun making this, the memes were funny, I had a good laugh, and yeah, thank you for watching. If you liked it, I'll be making more. Just put it in the comments and I'll make more. I'll have more incentive if you comment. I don't care about likes or subscribes. Just tell me if you want more. And I think that's all. See ya.